And we are just 16 hours away from the State House taking up the controversial abortion bill.
And the protests that we saw over the last few days are expected to extend to Louisiana's capital tomorrow. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for watching. I'm Katie Moore.
And I'm Sharice Gibson. We have a lot to walk through tonight. We'll talk about a U.S. Senate vote to legalize abortion across the country that failed today and why that vote could still have an impact.
And why the heated debate has turned into threats of violence and property damage.
But we begin here in Louisiana with that bill to charge a person who gets an abortion with homicide. Today, even Governor Edwards, who is deeply pro-life and Catholic, said the bill goes too far. He calls it problematic and unconstitutional. Devin Radalata is joining us here now. Devin, you spent some time tonight digging through this bill. Now, we know it would criminalize people who have abortions, but there is even more to it, right?
Yeah, that's right. Now, many laws that have many states that have laws on the books go into effect once Roe v. Wade is overturned. But this bill outlaws abortion regardless of whether the court overturns Roe. Tonight, we are taking a deeper look into what that bill says and what might happen in Baton Rouge tomorrow.
Next bill.
Thursday afternoon, the Louisiana House will debate House Bill 813, a piece of legislation that could become one of the most strict abortion laws in the country, abolishing the practice and allowing prosecution of would-be parents who end their pregnancies. The bill contains language that recognizes legal personhood, quote, at the moment of fertilization, meaning anyone who has an abortion or performs one could be charged with homicide. And in the last section of the 5-page bill, it aims to enforce regardless of whether Roe v. Wade is overturned. The extreme measure has been unpopular with many representatives on both sides of the aisle and advocates on both sides of the issue. Opponents say the vague language would criminalize some types of birth control and the in vitro fertilization process, plus endanger some women who need medical abortions due to miscarriage. Pro-life groups like Louisiana Right to Life and Louisiana Family Forum say they can't support a bill that treats women as criminals. They do support two bills in committee in the Louisiana Senate. Senate Bill 342 would outlaw abortion in Louisiana if Roe v. Wade were overturned, and Senate Bill 388 would ban the sale of some abortion-inducing drugs without a doctor's care. Those bills were not heard as scheduled in committee Wednesday, but have bipartisan support from all 5 women in the Louisiana Senate. More hotly contested, House Bill 813 has the floor Thursday afternoon with the eyes of the nation on Louisiana.
Now, the House convenes at 2 tomorrow, and the Abortion Abolition Act is on their agenda.
So, Devin, this isn't just the work of one lawmaker. There are other forces behind it. So who are they?
Yeah, this was a collaboration effort. This bill was authored by Representative Danny McCormick of Oil City in the far northwest corner of the state. But a man in Texas actually helped write it, Bradley Pierce from the Foundation to Abolish Abortion. He told our Erica Ferrando he has tried to get bills like this on the books in 13 states, but this is the first time one has made it out of committee. And here's what he had to say.
We're not creating new law here. This is just taking the existing law and applying it to people before they're born. So, how does existing homicides work? There's, some kind of suspicious circumstances around a death, and, someone makes a report, law enforcement chooses whether or not they want to investigate, and then we're on to our regular justice system.
Now, because federal law trumps state law, some attorneys say that this would not be enforceable unless Roe is overturned. But this bill could face some challenges and some amendments. We will, of course, keep an eye on this tomorrow.
This is certainly just the beginning, Devin. Thank you so much. And late this evening, actually, we learned from our partners at the Times-Picayune New Orleans Advocate that several Republican lawmakers plan to introduce an amendment tomorrow that would replace McCormick's bill with a different, less punitive bill.